We'll go to Steve Jewin for our first question. Your line is live.
Thank you. And Matt, it's a pleasure to talk to you again. A few months ago, when the pandemic was just getting underway, you told me that if you could put your name in a hat and get a fight on short notice, you'd be happy to take it. Is that how you describe getting this fight with Timothy Johnson?
I don't know. I guess maybe possibly a little bit. But like I said, man, I mean, I think anybody who knows me knows I'm game, you know? Hell, when Tall Steve Mowry got his fight canceled because of what went on, I tried to jump in that fight too. It just wasn't possible. Hey, man, I compete at any cost. And if I can do it and it's feasible, they know to call my phone, and I always answer.
All right. Earlier, Timothy Johnson told us he felt like his career had entered a new chapter with his win over Tyrell Fortune. So how do you see him after that performance? How do you think you match up with him?
I think I match up with anybody relatively well. But I think, honestly, I think Timothy is very accurate with that, with his take on his career. And I think that's a very good self-evaluation. I think that he almost in 3 was being written off, right? He got slept by Congo, and Congo doesn't punch anybody anymore. Then he had a fight with a guy that I don't remember who it was supposed to be, but then Minikoff took it, and he got mollywopped by Minikoff. So then they're like, okay, look, we're going to throw him to Tyrell. And I think Tyrell just took him a little bit lightly. I don't think that he took him as seriously as he should have. Tyrell, and we've trained a lot, and I'm not ripping on Tyrell. I think it was just a learning experience. I think that he kind of fell in love with his hands a little bit, and I think that he didn't have the mobility or the athleticism, or especially the lateral mobility that he normally does. And I think that Timothy was able to capitalize on it. And I don't think that I think that you have to remember at all times we're heavyweights. And when you fight another heavyweight, he's just as strong as you are, and he can touch your chin and turn it off just like that. And I think that's what happened. So I think that that's correct. I think Timothy has a lot of attention. He just stopped a pretty aggressive hype train. And I think he should be feeling himself a little bit.
All right, final thing for me before I let you go, Matt. Timothy said in an ideal situation, he would do what Ryan Bader did, and that would be to take you down. But unlike Bader, he would go for a finish on the ground. What do you think about that scenario unfolding in the fight where he's on top of you?
Sweet.
Well, it will be sweet. We're looking forward to what happens on Friday, and I hope you have a great performance. As always, Matt, thanks for the time.
Thanks, man.
Our next question is from Arkady Sachkovsky.
You got to try that again.
It's hard, man.
I would feel so disrespected if I were you. I would get on Danny's butt right now.
Nah, you should see my teachers break their teeth when I was younger.
I bet.
So, hello from Israel.
What's up, brother?
How are you?
I'm great, man.
First of all, I have a question for you about the rumor that started, especially on Russian websites, about possibly a rematch against Fedor, possibly in Russia.
Oh, awesome. I was just talking about that today, as a matter of fact. Like, how awesome would that be to go fight Fedor in Moscow? That would be so dope. That'd be awesome. Great. If that's a rumor, let's make it real. Let's do it.
Cool. So I already have a headline. The second thing, during the pandemic, how was it training with all the regulations?
Yeah, it didn't affect us really that much at all. I live in Indiana, and that's not a destination state, so not many people go there. It's not like going from New York to Florida. So it wasn't that big of a deal. It was really just kind of wear a mask, stay amongst your own business. But it was like kind of our regular life as it normally is. Like, we go to the gym, you go back home, you sleep, you do the exact same thing over again. So it really wasn't that much of a change for us.
Cool. And the last question, you visit here in Israel, you visited us, and you were a color commentator, so you weren't busy with fighting and training and all these nervous things. How was it here in our little and pretty loud country?
How was it? It was great, man. I had a great time in Israel. It was a great experience. Had a great time. Got great looking women over there. It was awesome, dude. Well, I mean, all you gotta do is go there at some time when I know somebody. Actually, I was talking with what's his name? The fighter, the 170 pound guy.
Gonzalez.
Yeah, Gonzalez. Yeah, great dude, man. I was talking with Jaime, and he's like, dude, he's like, come on over. I'll take care of you. I was like, brother, if you're gonna take care of me, I'll be all right.
Yeah, Chaim really know how to take care of his people. Great, man. I hope you the best and wish you luck on the fight.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, brother.
Our next question will go to John Eric Polai.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
So good I could be twins, brother.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, let's get started here. I want to ask you first your stance in the division. I know that you're coming off of a loss there, but just how close do you think you are to fighting for the belt? Because obviously you were in that Bellator Grand Prix, and you were in the semis there and fought Bader, who's now the champ.
You know, man, I tell you what, that is way above my pay grade. I don't get paid enough to worry about it. I don't get paid enough to talk about it. Doesn't matter to me. I do my job. They call me and I answer the phone. So if they call me and answer the phone and say, hey, look, we're going to do this, I'll say, all right. They call me and say, hey, we're going to do that, I say, all right. That's my answer.
All right, man. Fair enough. And then another thing I want to ask you, I know you've, with mostly due to COVID too, a lot of fighters have been out for quite some time. What have you been working on during this time and improving while you've been away from the cage?
Well, I found out that I'm one hell of a baker. Right, like I can bake cakes and pies. I've really impressed even myself, which is hard to do, with my baking prowess.
So I know you said cakes and pies. There, you bake cookies too? Are you on that too, or not that far yet?
Actually, I've been doing this thing called a bang bang cookie. Have you ever heard of that before?
I haven't. No, what's that?
Well, it's so you first of all you put entirely too much sugar in it, and then after you start baking it, after I think it's like 5-minute intervals, you just pull it out and you drop the cookie sheet on the countertop so it kind of flattens them out, and then you do that probably 3 or 4 times I think it's like 2 minutes after you do it the first time, and then they bake, and instead of being puffy and thick, they're really flat and chewy, and they are super duper dope.
That sounds absolutely delicious. And then, Matt, just the last thing for it, 'cause I know the people have questions here. Being a guy that was a college football player and played in the NFL, I know both college and pros are kind of figuring things out. Do you think football should happen this season, given what's going on in the world right now?
Hell yeah! I think any time for football is a good time for football. And look, man, I think that we're all in the demographic where it's not terribly relevant to us as far as health-wise. I think that the chances of catching something are really slim to none. I think that you sign a waiver and you go play the game. I think. Well, but also I have a 2-part position on this. I feel that America needs a reality break, right? So I think that's what sports do. I think that involving politics and social justice concerns in sports is a recipe for disaster, and I think it'll turn a lot of people off. That being said, I also think that a majority of the people that had interest in sports before the quarantine realized that they weren't doing jack shit with their lives except for watching other people live theirs while sitting on a couch. And I think that they found ways to entertain their lives and fulfill their lives, enrichen their lives via whatever method that was. So I don't know if sports viewership will be anything close to what it was before anytime soon.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate the time. Good luck on Friday.
Our next question comes from Mike Pendleton.
Hey, Matt, kind of following up on that, because obviously MMA was the first sport back, and it has a bubble, and you're seeing success of sports that have a bubble. Obviously, Bellator took their time coming back. As a former football player, I heard your last answer, but do you think there should be a bubble in place for these 32 teams throughout the country in the NFL?
Yeah, I would probably say yes. But I mean, if you're going to ask me anything other than do I think there should be a bubble, I'm gonna have to defer to the professionals on that. I have spent quite literally so little time thinking about other people's lives that I'm far removed from it. But I think I guess in the interest of safety, I think that would make sense.
No, absolutely. That was the only thing on that, just because we have seen the success in the sport that you're in. And to that point, obviously Bellator didn't rush to come back. And now that they have everything in place, how happy are you to be back, inside the Bellator cage and the way they're handling all of this?
I haven't won a fight since I beat up the Vagrant however many years ago. So I am really looking forward to getting back in there and doing work and getting my hand raised again, because honestly, that really helps me feel better about myself.
My last question here, Matt. You keep saying that you answer the phone call no matter what. How do you not get dejected? Obviously, there's so many fighters who could look at their record and get down on themselves, want to walk away, but you just pick up the phone and you're ready to accept any time.
Because I'm game, brother. I'm game. I'm down for the cause. I've always been down for the cause. I get texts from Chael all the time being like, man, we're one of the two cut from the same cloth and there's not many left. Like, you're almost the last of the Mohicans anymore. And like, you're damn right I am, brother. Like, I say yes. I compete at all costs. I may win. I may lose. But I'm going to go out there and I'm going to bust my butt. And I'm going to give the best show I can. And if you like me, cool, awesome. Let's go get weird. And if you don't, well, I don't really care that much, to be totally honest. So I think that's why I don't get dejected. If I get a job, cool, let's go make some money and let's go put on a show. And if you don't get a job, well, what the hell? At least I tried.